When I use the term leadershift, what I'm talking about is having the willingness, the ability to make positive changes in your life as a leader and in the life of the organization, the company, the group that you lead. That's what a leadershift is. If you make the right kind of a change, a right kind of a shift, you're going to become better because of as a leader, and the people around you are going to become better because of that. I was asked recently in an interview, they said, John, how do you stay on top of your game? It's a great question. I mean, how do I, at 71, still love leadership, still run the companies that I have and do leadership the way that I do it? And I remember when they asked me the question, how do you stay at the top of the game? I remember my answer, and that is, I realize that the game doesn't stay the same. It's like a baseball game. Okay, it's called baseball, but every game is different. It's no such thing as a baseball game and the next game is going to be identical of the last one. You know, Babe Ruth even said, yesterday's home run won't win today's game. And so when we think of shifting, when we think of making leaderships in our life, what we need to understand is we have to continually be in the process of change. One of my earlier mentors when I was in my late 20s, Olin Hendricks, was the one who shared with me, he said, John, if you're going to grow, you're going to continually change. It's just a fact that if you grow, that means that your life will be full of leaderships, that you will constantly be changing. On our John Maxwell team, one of the things I do is I have what we call Minute with Maxwell, which is just kind of a thing where I online do a minute with a word. They'll give me a word, I don't even know what the word's going to be, and then I teach off of it for a minute. In fact, I had a guy come up to me the other day and said, I watch Minute with Maxwell every morning. I said, well, good, thank you very much. He said, I know how you could improve it. I said, oh, good, well, how can I improve it? He said, have a half a minute. Just cut that baby in half. You know what I mean? You can get better. Trust me, you can get better. But on one of the Minute with Maxwell, they gave me two words, and they asked me to kind of talk about it for a moment, and the two words were fast forward. Now, they picked that up from a theme of a company that I had spoken for, and when they gave me the two words fast forward, here's what I said. I said, here, let me take fast first. Fast means faster. In other words, it's never going to slow down. I love people who say, you know what, I tell you what, it's just the pace is going crazy. I can hardly wait for things to slow down. Slow down? That means you're going to die. Things aren't going to slow down. Fast is faster, and it keeps going. With technology and social media, fast just gets faster. I mean, fast isn't going to get slower. Fast isn't going to stop. Fast isn't going to call time out. Fast is faster. And let me say something about forward. Forward is shorter. When you think into the future, it's not as long as it used to be. When I started off as a young leader, my goodness, I had a 10-year game plan, which was kind of the long-range plan. You did 10 years, 5 years was mid-range, 2 years was short range. Remember, I started to ask you if you remember that, and then I look at you, and you're too young to remember that. Trust me, okay? Just believe the old boy, okay? That we used to have these, 5 years, and now 2 years. I mean, that's like a real long-range plan. You see, fast is faster and forward is shorter. And if that's the case, which it is, if that's the case, then we're going to have to be able to leadershift faster in the changes that we want to make. So I just wrote down, and just think about these for a moment. You don't have time to write them down, but just give them some thought. I just wrote down some leadershift questions, such as, how open am I to change? Am I becoming a better listener? When will I begin to ask more questions? Can I become comfortable with ambiguity? And do I rely on my intuition enough? How adaptable am I as I begin to lead? And I want to just say something about being adaptable. There's a difference between adaptability and conformity. You know, conformity is a negative quality of just blending in. It's becoming average. It's usually based out of kind of maybe a weakness of fear of rejection. And that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about adaptability, which is a positive quality, which is very proactive in adjusting so that you can succeed and do better and grow. And it's a strength that's based on confidence in your intuition and confidence in your abilities.